Hello, God bless. This is Daniel Maximoff with another vlog. I do apologize for the hiatus. Been busy with school and work, and I had to make this video because I came across a very entertaining debate between a girl named Pearl Davis and Anna Kasparian from the Young Turks, and I wanted to share my viewpoints on all of that, which was first and foremost extremely cringy to watch. I cannot tell you how I felt watching the video from start to finish, even though I knew it was going to be bad because I'm aware of the two debating, but I'm mostly aware of who Anna Kasparian was debating, which was a predominantly incompetent individual. And I'm familiar with her content, so I kind of knew it was gonna be bad, but I wasn't expecting anything. I wasn't really expecting it to be this worse. Like, I would say primarily because before debates, there's months of preparation that takes fold. I mean, you do your research, you read up, you kind of analyze everything and have it prepared, kind of like studying for an exam. It's the equivalent of, being ready to, you know, debate your beliefs, hold it up to, can I hold up to scrutiny and hope for the better, because someone at the level of Anna Kasparian is not someone that you would take lightly, even though I have seen the Young Turks and I disagree with a lot of their beliefs. I have to at least acknowledge the fact that they are experts at analyzing information, and I'm aware that prior to Pearl Davis, I think Anna Kasparian debated Ann Cutler. So, yeah, you need to be ready. And it doesn't seem that Pearl Davis throughout that debate took Anna seriously as an opponent, because if she did, it wouldn't have turned out as bad as it did. And I don't think you can walk away from something like that, because the whole world is not going to let you walk away, especially after the content you make and the pathetic information you release. That is, like, I'm a guy and I do not approve of half the stuff she says, primarily because at the end of the day, women and men are made differently. But I have to acknowledge that woman came from a man's rib originally, and therefore society thrives because men and women have worked together for thousands of years to accomplish, to bring civilization as what it is today. Who do you think sewed the American flag? Who do you think are in the medical field? Nurses, doctors, teachers. They're women. And who do you think do the hard labor jobs? Men. They build streets, do basically do the jobs like security and oil rigs, you name it. It's men, because they're built for that. But it doesn't mean that we don't value what they provide. Same with women. It comes down to egalitarianism. And even though society today is rotten to the core and disrespects both sexes, because again, we're living in the end times where women want to be men and men want to be women. What's right is wrong and what's wrong is right. Where men are basically attacked, same as women, by the cultural shift that's going for the wrong reasons. And even though the culture is attacking the American values that we hold within the Bible. We don't have to move in with that cultural vibe. We as individuals know what's going on in our personal lives, and we've seen um, losses on both sides. It's Everyone suffers and gains from the system, one way or another. It's not just and statistics do matter, especially when it involves equal rights, especially when it involves court decisions, financial stability, you know, all the good stuff. But then again, I was watching the debate and I left dumbfounded. There's a lot I can say about it, but I don't want to make this video longer than it is because it's just not worth it, and there's nothing that I will have to say that hasn't been said already. Because I've seen a lot of responses to come to the conclusion that I don't know who this Pearl Davis girl is. Indeed, I'm not that in tune into her content. I kind of do watch some of her videos because they pop up on YouTube and Facebook and etc. Usually in an entertaining way. It's not really like the entire thing, but it didn't dawn on me to realize that this lady may actually be an instigator for the feminist side. Someone who is bisexual or probably lesbian, I don't know, whichever the two is. Because in the debate, the one thing that Anna Kasparian did mention that kind of stood out for me is that she is married. And here we are she's debating an individual who advises men on dating or what not to do with girls or etc. Not which I approved because at the end of the day, the only way you're gonna get a spouse or a girlfriend or whatever is that you have to approach them. You have to speak with them. You cannot let the internet do all the work for you, because dating apps are the sewer, or the literal sewer. You cannot depend on them for that. You can always walk around and try to find your significant other the traditional way. But this girl has a horrible track record in keeping boyfriends. Doesn't really has a husband. Doesn't really provides hope for guys. Instead, she enforces and puts panic attacks on them, thinking that women are all succubus and life-sucking rodents or whatever you want to call them, but that they are the reason why they're suffering. I don't know what to. It's funny to me. It's funny to me, and then guys are buying it. Like, I have to assume these are guys who don't have friends. Like, the internet is the only outlet they have. They don't really. I don't think they even disconnect from the internet. They literally wake up and go to sleep in front of the computer. That's the audience I think this lady has, because anyone with friends or who have touched grass can let you know that life is not that way. You have to put yourself out there and take the plunge to fix yourself, because at the end of the day, you have a short lifespan. You're mortal. Sorry, but yeah, time is money. And in the day and age of cryptocurrency, entrepreneurship, there's no reason for you to be, making excuses for why you're not where you're at. There's just, you have to, or if not, turn to God and ask them to help you, since you're incapable of helping yourself. That's just my 2 cents on that. But someone putting your hopes on this girl who, to me, looks older than her age. I don't know if she's 30. She looks kind of 45-ish to me. And she reminds me of Onision and Kamala Harris, if Onision and Kamala Harris had an offspring, it will be her. And I'm very, and after seeing that debate, I was left petrified because it was horrible. Like it's like somebody literally put in a someone with an IQ of 70 or below onto the stage to make herself look stupid. And I'm not for humiliating people. I don't appreciate it, people being taken advantage of or stuff like that. But this kind of looks like somebody just this appeared to be scripted. Like they intentionally put her against her to get destroyed and to be accommodate. This is to me what it paints at. Like I wasn't taking it seriously because again, you have to prepare before a debate. You have to be competent, and you have to be. And by her, because I saw the whole the posture needs to be firm when you're debating somebody. You have to be sound like you're confident in your beliefs. And this lady comes across tremendously as a feminist to me, and it scared me because I heard she's connected to the red pill and whatever Andrew Tate. But then again, Andrew Tate has more, like, I'm guessing he has more leverage than her. Like, I don't think she's the female Andrew Tate to me. She comes across as the female Onision to me. I mean, Andrew Tate is a self-made billionaire. This girl depends on her dad. And I'm not from, and someone who depends on their parents for survival, like at that extent, even though they're wealthy. Because I've known personally people who have self-made wealthy parents, and they don't want their money, they make their own money. Like, yeah, they go to college, they get a successful career, and make their own money, then they have families, because that's what people want to see in life. They want to see you triumph on your own merits. Kind of like Elle Woods from Legally Blonde. And for me to see that was morbid, horrifying, and I'm aware of Anna Kasparian, and I cannot believe that she came out sane and logical and poised. And truly, I would say the anti-feminists, because many of her points were egalitarian to me. It didn't sound feminist to me. It was very odd to see that she basically, this Pearl lady basically united both sides, which ironically both sides are the same side, so, but united them into seeing what this, into, agreement, and seeing what a clown show this little girl was. And her viewpoints are extremely, like, there is no source for it. It's just personal experiences. I mean, tragic personal experiences, but it adds to nothing of substance for the debate. And her scamming through the papers was also stupid. It felt like she was really just, and I don't think she even had the time to grasp what she read or wrote or whatever, because everything she had on her literally went on fire in front of her. Like, she melted. She basically, I don't know if you're familiar with Mortal Kombat, but Anna Kasparian performed Sindel's Banshee Scream Fatality on her. It was such a bad debate that I cannot put into words. What would it have been to pay to travel to see that in person? I cannot imagine, because I saw a lot of people sharing in the crowd. Well, despite the awkward silences, I saw a lot of people, sharing, and I'm like, I wouldn't be sharing. I will be asking for my refund to like that. I wouldn't show up there to support. Yeah, because you're making yourself look dumber and even more infantile than her, because she didn't say anything logical. Like she can easily, if she wanted something of in the criminal side, like for with where women get away with murder, etc. She can easily just go to the Deadly Woman's in the Discovery Channel, where they expose people like, Eileen Wuornos, who killed in self-defense, and yeah, they made a movie about her monster. Maybe you can, or the one, the movie with Ellen Page, where she was basically tortured to death. I forgot her name, um, but I know the movie's name is called An American Crime, where it highlights the casualties of what the evil queen did to Snow White, jealousy, like, and what happened to Selena Quintanilla Perez, which it involves woman being killing a woman, even, and stealing. So that means that it's not limited. Abuse is not limited to just woman on men, but also woman on woman. Like, there's I mean, examples can be used, and when it comes to the whole marriage thing, okay, traditional, to put you guys up to speed, the trad life requires financial stability. The husband is basically retiring the wife. That means that they're gonna cost, it's a double-edged sword. He's gonna cost a massive hole in her resume in terms of how long she has been unemployed. So, in order to keep employers happy, I think the wife eventually has to keep a side job, a mini part-time job, because again, it's gonna cost a massive hole in the resume, and women nowadays want to be 1950s women, but they don't really want to be 1950s women. They want the rewards that came with it, but not really the lifestyle of staying home, cooking, cleaning, and waiting for the husband to come home from the 9 to 5, for him to put her arms around him and kiss him. In Anna Kasparian's side, she kind of came across as the guy of the relationship, and her husband, the woman of the relationship, in terms of that she's made a career, and she stated that he was broke. Pearl could easily find something to say about that, in terms that, and that's basically the higher winner. She's Miranda from the Devil Wears Prada in that department, but she never did. And then again, a lot of her points could have been easily combated if used correctly. And the approach was done wrong, and the studies was done wrong. And a lot of people are pointing out that she's just not fit for the content she makes, and I have to agree with them. If you don't have a boyfriend, if you don't have a decent background in terms of finding guys the right way, or finding girls the right way, whichever, I'm not into DTF. That's good. I'm into the finding the right one. If you're not for that, you're just enforcing panic onto other people and crushing and blaming everything on women, which is, I'm not for misogyny any more than I'm for misandry. I'm not for either of those two. Respect is respect. We have different opinions, but we have to learn to settle and make work with what we have, because again, you have a short lifespan. And I think the primary problem for why the birth cycle is gone south is because there is no respect. There is no courtesy amongst people, common courtesy amongst people. I'm sorry. there's not that desire to put, the biblical desire to start a family, the nuclear family, to start to, to with Salvador Meninchi's philosophy, where mom, dad, kids are, there's no structure built there. There's no economic stability there in terms of, it's for a man, it's kind of embarrassing to not be able to provide for the family. So, and it looks really bad when it's the woman who's doing the most work and the guy's just the second-hand income. It does not look good. The structure does not look good. You have to respect the structure, because the structure originally crafted from the Bible and made into law from years ago, and it has worked throughout, because civilization surfaced because of that. That's why we have what we have today. So if everybody was taking or was getting an abortion, humanity would have gone extinct. If everybody would have been gay, you wouldn't have been here. You get what I'm saying with this? It's around for a purpose. It's just people want to make their own way, and they don't want to follow the way. They want to make their own rules. They want to cause waves. They want to make their lives complicated and make other people's lives complicated just because they can. Not because they want you to do better. Not because they want you to break free from your sorority mindset. Because to me, the manosphere and the feminist sphere are like sororities to me. They come across as people, guys who want to live with other guys and be like their, support system. Oh, I'm here for you. Unfortunately, you have to find a spouse. If your mom and dad are not going to be around forever, and your brothers and sisters, excuse me, are going to be married, and you're going to be alone. You don't want to be alone, even though you're not really, because God is with you. But you know what I mean. You're going to have to break free from the sorority mindset. I mean, I support people who support others in troubled times and in times where they have nobody to turn to. So they turn to the internet for advice, for comfort, etc. But you have to do your job and do your human job as a mortal to find your significant other if you want that person so badly. And I'll depend on people like Pearl for that, because her entire debate side was such a train wreck from start to finish that it left me baffled as to how this lady made it this far in life. Like, it was so bad when you remind me of Kamala Harris and Onision combined together into one, and you make Anna Kasparian look very good. Throughout the debate, she was very intellectually intact. I was like pinching myself. Is this Anna Kasparian? Because I don't remember this being her. And oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And if you're a guy, I would advise you take time wisely. Same with a woman, but this is primarily, since the debate was mostly to, actually let me put it equally, so there's no misunderstandings. If you're a woman or a guy, use time wisely, because time is just not money. Time is not the economy behind time is money. It's like time is cryptocurrency. Your soul is like a cryptocurrency, worth more than gold in the afterlife, in the invisible world, where you have a bank account open with God, and you have a bank account open with Satan. So chances are you're gonna be facing, once judgment comes, they're gonna ask you God is gonna ask you, what did you do with your time? You're gonna, what did you do with the seeds? What? And you're gonna be in front of him naked, and you're not gonna. And he's gonna flash in front of you your life. How many times you spent on the computer? How many times you interacted with anybody? How many debates or whatever that you had? And what was the gain from all of that? And among them, it's gonna be time you missed. That's gonna be a huge factor in the afterlife. And depending on the summary, you're gonna get a Christless eternity or a Christ eternity. But your soul is cryptocurrency. Best, and it's linked to time for a specific reason. Because you're supposed to make do with the time you have on Earth. So, and I would advise people to consider the fact that YouTubers are not your friends. I guess they could be, but they're not really. You don't know people's backgrounds. You don't know people's personalities. You don't know if by the time they shut the screen, they're psychopaths to the core. You really don't know these people. So stop clinging yourself to these people like they're your messiah or whatever, and literally live life. Because if you don't live life, chances are somebody's gonna take advantage of that, and obviously you're gonna turn bitter, resentful. All the negative reaction is because you're not using time wisely. You're not really living life. You're not taking advantage of the opportunities. You're not really putting yourself out there correctly. Disconnect from this. This is not gonna get you anywhere. This is gonna be around before you. By the time you die, yeah, this is gonna be around. It's not gonna be buried with you. If it is, it's gonna stay there for God knows how long. If Armageddon hasn't happened yet. It's probably gonna be given away to scrap people or recycled and given to a kid. I don't know. So it's your legacy, and if you care about your legacy, good for you. If you don't, good for you. Either way, it's fine. It doesn't matter. Once you're dead, you're not gonna have another chance at life. Trust me. Sometimes it's better to be a live dog than a dead lion, because at least you're in the living, and you have a chance to do better and accomplish something not done before, and make a difference, a positive difference. But this debate really left me, oh boy, I'm just, oof. I don't know what to say. It kind of reminds me of Courage, the curly dog. Kind of left me like this. And the funny part is that the feminism and the manosphere do not care about kids or the well-being of the sexes. They kind of put the sexes at the center priority, in contrast to kids and spouses and the equilibrium of the household. Yeah, it's completely, both sides are DTF, narcissistic, vindictive, and the antagonist to Western society in terms of finding communion and compromise. Because if you want DTF, OnlyFans is available, but if you want the tread life, I'm afraid you're gonna have to make sacrifices, and you're gonna have to compromise, but you're gonna have to interact with the person to accomplish something, because it takes two to make a kid, and it takes two to see the kid grow up and be there in their lives, and do and become and carry on your parents' traditions, because again, you can just because the cultural shift is negative and it's going to the wrong direction, you don't have to follow that cultural shift. But you must understand that things require, in order for things to work out, it requires certain aspects to correlate together to make it work. Like the trad life requires financial stability primarily. Like you need to make money to sustain yourself, to pay the house bill, to pay the car bill, to take kids on vacation, pay for daycare, do a bunch of stuff. It does, especially for one person. That check better be very good. But not everybody can do that. So, unfortunately, there's two. That's where, you know, inflation kicks in. I mean, that needs to be addressed prontotissimo, because it's making a huge downturn in society. Like inflation is causing the longevity and poverty on both sexes. If one in divorce cases, it's important to understand that most parents, when a kid is involved, most parents want to end the divorce in good terms and cause as minimum trauma as possible. Even though the custody battles favor the woman, they usually depends on the two spouses, because it's if you know inheritance and stockholders are involved, yeah, they're gonna wanna a piece of the pie. But kind of like in the movie Liar Liar, like, you know, but it doesn't always ends that way. Like, you know, you need to analyze things better, word yourself better. And of course I'm addressing Pearl on that because it's truly like, I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. I would ask the floor to swallow me whole after such an embarrassing defeat. And I don't know what to say about it, because I mean, boy, 2026, and this is already going and it's already an interesting year. And I normally don't make videos on politics, but this is one of those things that I have to address, because it's not just her, but I'm seeing it outside of the internet unfold, and where women are just craving for the attention from guys, the right guys, and same with men. They're craving the attention from women, the right woman, but they're getting none, because they're tuning into people like this, and they don't allow the reality to sink in. And it's important for you to understand that you need to touch grass and realize the time is limited, and that these people don't have your best interests at heart. If they did, I wouldn't be seeing them, you know, crying on the internet constantly and making promises where there's none, and being completely one-sided to the other. And unfortunately, that's not how you compromise. I like peace. I like to see, you know, opposites attract. I like to see the impossible be made possible. Triumph against all odds. That's what I like to see. I don't like to see people turn into pity cases, coward, like like this lady did every single time Anna Kasparian's, you know, asked her for sources. She's checking out, or just stay silent, or came up with an ad hominem of some sort, whatever, and it was ridiculous. And I hope people learn from that and don't repeat it, because just be told, this is gonna be a meme and a GIF very soon. Trust me. This was a live one. It was like a wake for the movement she created in her own channel as well. So we were just witnesses to what I can describe a political fatality. It was like the equivalent of Temari versus Tantan, where Tantan lands in Tamari's fan and I think her back gets broken. That's what I compare that debate to. And to quote Tamari, she didn't even break up. It wasn't even a match. It was kind of boring. Oh man, oh man. So this is what I have for you. God bless. I'll be linking the video down below. And well, let me know what you think. Have a nice day.